Today's review will be critically acclaimed game BluePrince by Dogubomb. BluePrince is a puzzle game about building a map in order to reach certain objectives. It's similar to Pipe Dream, if you remember that old Windows game. And each room usually contains its own puzzle, perk, or solution to use in another room. Now, I don't know if I've ever had a bigger swing from love to hatred in a game before. The gameplay footage you'll see throughout this video is from my last day playing the game. I'm on day 31 in the game, and I do mean an in-game day, which is much shorter than an actual day. And I've not yet gotten to room 46. Now, usually my rule is I have to beat a game before I attempt to review it, but I feel that I know this game well enough to give it a full review, because I love this game. I loved it enough to get a journal and write about my observations of the world. I actually have my journal here. You can see all my little notes, and the feeling of, oh my god, I wrote this down and this is gonna solve this puzzle was an amazing feeling. And I felt like this genius detective that, oh man, I've cracked this case because I've taken such great notes. As corny as it may sound, the best phrase I can use to describe how I felt when I first got exposed to this game was childlike wonder. If you know anything about me personally, you know I love Star Trek, a show about exploring the unknown and the fulfillment that can come when you observe something without judgment, but rather being open and just allowing yourself to experience what's in front of you.
Ooh. Well, it looks like he hates it.
Yes, that is it. I hate this.
Data, I think the chip is working.
Oh, yes. I hate this. It is revolting.
More?
Please.
And from the start, this game gave me exactly that. My willingness to openly observe my surroundings, striving to understand the manner, was rewarded with beautifully written stories and letters, new rooms to explore with hidden secrets, and I was able to connect links between clues that had been sprinkled throughout the map. I was genuinely bragging to my friends about how much I enjoyed this game. I made a point to not look up hints, so when I finally pieced together all the information that I needed, and I found room 46, I felt a rush. Not only did I know where the room was, I knew exactly how to get there. And I speed ran my way to the room, quickly constructing the rooms I needed to get to my destination. And then I was a single room away from getting to my destination, but the door was locked, and I had just used my last key. And it was over, and I had to reset the day and start from scratch and try again. And that was when the game fell apart for me. That attempt was over 10 in-game days ago, which was about 5 hours of gameplay. Where I had previously felt love and intrigue, it was now replaced with frustration and repetition. One thing I watched while playing this game was how often I discovered new rooms, which is a metric that the game shows you at the end of each run. And up until I discovered room 46, almost every single day I had discovered at least one new room. And I know I solved at least one puzzle with a pretty similar frequency. But after the discovery of room number 46, that came to a screeching halt. Now, to play devil's advocate against myself, I don't doubt that I became tunnel visioned. That my mentality shifted from one of exploration to one of achieving a goal. But can you blame me? After all my hard work, the thing that the game told me was my main objective was now dangling right in front of my face. The frustrating thing about this game is how close I feel it was to a masterpiece. The one recommendation I would have given to the developers would have been, if you're gonna have this random element of only getting to choose from 3 rooms for the layout, is to lean into the deck builder element and allow the player to actually construct their deck of the rooms that they would get to choose from and just give them more control over that. Because while there's definitely a strategy of trying to burn rooms early so you don't get dead-ended by them later in the game, but if you don't get the resources in the room you need, you can kind of play it perfectly and still get screwed. Which is true in a deck builder too, that you can build a perfect deck and still not draw the cards you need, but just giving the player more opportunity to make sure that luck wasn't the thing from stopping them from solving the puzzle. I want this last part of my video to acknowledge how much care and attention was put into this game. There's an incredibly rich story here. The visuals are picturesque. You could tell that the developers put everything they had into this game. But in my opinion, the risk of randomness just didn't pay off for a puzzle game. Now, I think it's possible, based on luck and maybe some skill, that someone watching this video could have a completely positive experience of this game, finding the rooms and items that they need when they need them, and not getting stuck in a loop of zero progress like I was. But for me, I would recommend a different puzzle game. Personally, The Witness is my favorite indie puzzle game of all time, and I've heard really positive things about Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I'm putting BluePrince at my 6th spot for the year. This game is a piece of art with fantastic, challenging puzzles, but for me, it missed on the core gameplay loop. If you've had a chance to play BluePrince, let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks for watching. One last thing. I take this business of promoting indie games very seriously. I've already spent some money to help develop new indie games, and I want to continue to invest, continue to promote, so I started up a Ko-Fi page. I set up ko-fi.com/Hartxp, so if you appreciate my content and you're willing and able to support, I'd super appreciate that, and I'd use that money to help to support indie development. So thanks for considering supporting. See you in my next video.